I invite you to bring your hand to your heart and your other hand to your belly. Come home to yourself. Enter the realm of compassion. Next, we're going to explore this interior landscape of core compassion. We are going to start by exploring the description, the definition, the capacities of a real self. The real self, the true you, the self with a capital S, the true nature with which you can come home to. It's always been there. You may have lost track of it. You may have disowned parts of it. You may have denied aspects of it. You may have lost traces of it. It's always there for you. This core, compassionate, true nature of your true self, your real self. When I think about real compassion, it is resourced, it is engaged, it is aware, and it is loving. This is how I think about things in their reality. Resourced, engaged, aware, and loving. So, the capacities of the real self. Number 1, you are able to make deep, stable relationships. You enjoy them. You flourish in your relational health. Number 2, you make commitments and you keep them. Number 3, you have the ability to soothe and regulate your own mood, your own affect, your own way of showing up. You can ask yourself, am I going to be instrumental, detrimental, or inconsequential to this experience right here, right now? What is my intention as I come in the room? Bring that, own it, know it. Number 4, the capacity of the real self is to experience a wide range of affects with depth. What does this mean? This means in the wave of life, as life gets lifey, and those waves of experiences and emotions and the different nuances of what it means to be human come up and over you, you can experience them. Your bandwidth of tolerance for all things in life gets larger. You're able to be with grief, be with sadness, be with the loss that comes with being human. You're also going to grow and stretch your capacity for joy, serenity, freedom, love, beauty. You experience a wide range of all that life has to offer. Number 5, you are able, as your true self, to be creative and spontaneous. Mwah! Yum, juicy. Make a mess. Don't worry about cleaning it up right away, and do not destroy it. More on that later. Next, you have the ability to be alone and to be content. This is when you fall in love with solitude. You fall in love with the rejuvenative, restorative, replenishing nature of loving the company you keep with yourself. Yes. And it's the big both and. Those of you who know me know this is one of my favorite ways of reframing things. It's not either or yes but. It's both and. Both loving solitude and adoring and cherishing connection and time well spent with others. It's the big both and. Next, the capacity of the real self is to acknowledge the individuated thoughts, feelings, and wishes of others. It's truly embodying the reality that we are not me. There's a term that describes this, which is differentiation. To be able to self-soothe, to be emotionally contained here, and emotionally connected to other. It's kind of the natural byproduct of what we were just talking about earlier, what I was suggesting earlier. To acknowledge the otherness of the other. is relational mastery. And finally, the capacity of the real self is to love, work, and play in a stable and adaptive way with self-acknowledgement, self-validation. We no longer need to seek validation from others. Am I okay right now? Do you approve? No. What a waste of energy. What a leak of our true nature when we doubt who we are and we need that feedback from others. As we step into our true nature, as we relax into who our soul reminds us that we are, we realize the sweetest type of intimacy. Into me see, into myself do I see, because here is a little home of God. This is what I know for certain. Spirit is all around us. Keakuanui, the great big gods, plural, are in the plants, in the trees, in the air, in the ocean, in the mountains, in the birds, in the beings. And they are also in the microbiome in your gut. There is a sense of bigness when we talk about spirit and matters of spiritual nature. And I don't pretend to have the answers. I'm more convinced now of the mystery of life than I was 26 years ago when I first got sober. And I thought, okay, maybe there's a loving God, a higher power that can look after me. I know less now, but I feel more. I've dropped out of my analyzing mind and I reside in a tender heart, which is where that greatness of spirit comes home in my own soul. As my beloved friend Tara says, massage your arm and know I live here. Invite your spirit home in the tender heart where your soul can reside. Know and love the capacities of the real self. Know and trust that this realm of compassion, this core compassion, is within you. Much as we've already covered in the earlier videos, in the earlier days of this March Gladness 21 stretch towards wholeness, is that we are incredibly resilient. We get through hard times. We know hard times. We cannot compare our hard times to others. The only comparison I feel like we can truly entertain is our self left over from yesterday. And if your self left over from yesterday is an inner tormentor who's constantly second guessing, who's doubting and worrying and manufacturing misery by wanting everything out there to be different, then I invite you to dwell in the realm of compassion for a little bit. Step out of the resiliency and move into compassion and feel the tenderness of your human heart. One way you can do this is to close your eyes. Again, bring your hand to your heart and your other hand to your belly. And feel these power centers. Feel the structural alignment of your spine, the openness and vulnerability of your tender heart coming together in this major energetic exchange between your na'au, which is your guts, your entrails, your belly, your emotional brain, the wisdom of your core essence, and your tender heart, your pu'uvai, your hill of water that beats tirelessly in your favor. Take a breath here. Letting go. Another breath in. Being here. And finally breathing in. Now what? Now what is to move your bottom hand up to your head, your forehead, and feel this power center lining up in all the majesty of these three power centers, your own sovereignty, your own core compassion of deeply and completely loving and accepting yourself all the thoughts, feelings, and sensations in the head, in the heart, in the na'au, in the guts, in the hara, as it's known in Japan. Feel your own power. Dwell here. I invite you to gently raise your gaze, take a look at the video. When you turn off this video, I'd like you to go look in the mirror and utter these words. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And I have a desire and a willingness to upgrade my life. It's the big both and. As you do that exercise in the mirror, consider recording it on your phone with a voice memo. Play it back as you gaze lovingly, tenderly, soft gaze in the mirror. You're well on your way to coming home to yourself.